how am I gonna do this? I'm so stressed. I don't have enough time. How am I gonna prepare? Filling my brain with Netflix and TikTok. Stop worrying about how to be a good mom. Focus on your marriage. Welcome, friends. My name is Jessica Johnson, and if you're new around here, I post all kinds of content from faith to fitness to food to, just sharing my life and stuff and bringing you along with me. If you didn't know, this week I am going to be 24 weeks pregnant, and I was stressing about how in the world am I going to take care of this child? I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea. Oh my gosh, there's no reverse button, this is happening, this is coming. I might not be able to tell you how to swaddle your baby or how to breastfeed or anything like that, because I also don't know. But I do know what God is doing in my heart and what He is telling me to do and to work on. So before we get started, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. I want to get to know you guys, I want to be friends, and let's just take this journey together. So this is essentially how I'm preparing my heart to have a baby. Let's jump in. I really need to do some heart surgery. For example, I know what I think about people that maybe I don't agree with all the time, or people that hurt me or upset me. Sometimes that little spirit of gossip wants to take over. I don't like it when gossip feels good or like it does something for me. I also know how quick to anger I can be when I'm in a fight with my husband. Whenever I feel like I'm being invalidated or that he's just not seeing my feelings or something like that, I can go from 0 to 100 so fast, because I'm like, you need to understand how I feel, and you need to tell me that you can see how I feel and that it's okay to feel a certain way. I can be wrong, but I get so mad, and gosh, it's ugly. It's ugly. That's something that I'm really wanting to weed out. And the hard part is the only way to really weed it out is, two ways, really just spend time with the Lord, but also to actually practice good habits. So when we do get into some sort of dispute, I need to put into practice the things that the Bible's telling me to do. But the reality is, all of these gross things in me, right? Like a spirit of gossip, being quick to anger, being impatient, whatever it is, I always know that it comes as a result of not spending enough time in my Bible or spending enough time listening to worship music. Really, it always comes down to not spending enough time with God. And if I'm being honest, there are just times where I don't want to go there with God. When I'm not in the best headspace, one of the first things that go for me is worship music, because I don't want to go there emotionally. I'll be driving and I'm like, I don't feel like having open heart surgery right now. But that's always the wrong choice. I'm trying to get in the habit of, when I feel like I want to ignore God, to do the opposite of what I feel and to lean in even harder. A couple of things that I've been doing to remedy that is, when I'm not in the mood to listen to something faith-based, I'll put on a podcast. I really like this one called Conversations with John and Lisa Bevere. They're super wise. They've been married for 40 years. I'll just put on worship music throughout the house. Literally just doing the exact opposite of what I feel like doing. So yeah, that's been fun, but I know it'll be worth it. On that same train of thought, I know I need to do a better job at praying for people that I don't quote like. And I'm not saying that I'm out here just hating on others, but there are people in a lot of our lives that have hurt us, or they'll say stuff that just doesn't sit right with you. Again, I'm not saying I'm outright mean to anybody who's hurtful towards me. You almost would never know. But if you knew my heart and what my mind was thinking and how I really felt about them, there's honestly this part of me that doesn't even want to pray for them, even though that's the very thing that will change your own heart and the way that you see them. I'll also challenge you. It's a hard thing to pray for the people that hurt you or mistreat you, to wish them well. My mind always goes to, places where, ISIS is killing people's family members. And like, if you're a Christian in those countries, man, could you imagine trying to pray for ISIS? Like being like, Lord, I want to see these people in heaven. To me, that's a very hard thing to grapple with. I want to be able to say that no matter how that person treats me, I am still going to love them. And genuinely. We were just talking at my small group about how Jesus always counted others as more important than himself. And that's something that I really desire, is to be like that. I mean, Jesus loved the people that hated him, but moving into parenthood, that's something I want to be able to instill in my own children. And I can only do that if I'm leading by example. And this is probably one of the biggest ones. Don't get me wrong, all that stuff is very, very important. But as I was stressing out and trying to figure out, how am I gonna do this? I'm so stressed, I don't have enough time. How am I gonna prepare, blah, 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 blah. And I know some of this sounds really spiritual, so just hang on with me, okay? I felt like the Lord told me in my spirit, stop worrying about how to be a good mom. What I really need you to do right now is focus on your marriage and make that the best it can be. That concept hit me like a ton of bricks. I love my marriage. I love my husband, but I really know the areas that we need work. And there are certain habits that I have or certain things that I do that I know will not fly. If I acted in anger and said something to my husband that was stupid, and my child heard me say it, that quick-temperedness that I was talking about, I know that requires doing the work to have a great marriage, because it does not happen on accident. People don't accidentally have a great marriage. Just like people who are super fit, they didn't just accidentally become that way. They put in the work, they put in the time, they ate the right foods. And so I know what that looks like in my life, in the areas that I know I am unhealthy, and in the areas that I am bringing unhealthy things into my marriage. And God really brought that to my attention. What is in us is what comes out of us. I can't just be like, oh, it's just like how I am. No, I know for a fact with myself that when I am not spending time in the Word, when I am not listening to worship music, when I am just filling my brain with Netflix and TikTok and whatever, I am much worse off. I am not as good of a wife. I know that when I'm not talking to women that are wiser than me, that have been married for longer than me, I know when I'm not doing those things, how it affects my marriage. And I also know that when I'm filling myself with the right things, gosh, the fruit that occurs in my marriage. So in this time of preparing for a new child to enter the world, I definitely know just from hearing other people's experiences that it was a time of, realistically some strain on their marriage. So if I can make my marriage as strong as it can be, it's only going to benefit us. I know at the end of the day, I'll figure out the swaddling and the diaper stuff and breastfeeding. I know I will figure that out. Everybody in history who's ever had a child, they somehow figure it out, no matter what country they live in. But the marriage piece is a whole other ballgame. It's not like, sure, you could Google like how to have a better marriage, but I know that's it's not the same as Googling how to swaddle a baby. There's a lot of heart work that needs to be involved. So those are the things right now that God is preparing me the most in order to get ready for this baby coming in June. Whether you are a future mom just like me or somebody that just was looking for some spiritual wisdom, I hope that what God is doing in me can somehow translate to you in your life. Leave me some stuff in the comments if there are other things that you'd like me to discuss. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.